14 enlightened masters who have reached Hawkins Scale 1000. This is Shores of Infinity with your host Chris, and this is a short video about 14 enlightened masters who have reached Hawkins Scale 1000. On the Hawkins Scale 1000 is the highest consciousness you can stand on this planet Earth. So, very few people have reached Hawkins Scale 1000, and most of them only for a short time. This is not something that you can easily maintain over a longer period of time. Very few people have managed to maintain this, like the Buddha or Jesus. Yeah, Jesus was killed, but the Buddha, the first Buddha, has maintained 1000 for years. Usually you can only stand it for a few days or weeks or months. Already from 850 upwards, it becomes very dangerous in a survival sense. And it's theoretically possible to go beyond 1000, but then you will die. Your body cannot sustain more than 1000 on the Hawkins scale. So of those well-known teachers, there were of course a lot of people who have reached 1000 who are not well known, but of those well-known teachers and authors and gurus and so on who have reached Hawkins Scale 1000, at least for some time, I would like to mention 14 here, in no particular order. Firstly, Jesus, then Jed McKenna, the first Buddha, Sri Aurobindo, David Hawkins himself, UG, Meher Baba, Shiva Puri Baba, Babaji Avatar, Sri Ramana Maharshi, Bernadette Roberts, the Karmapa, any of those incarnations. At least one made it to 1000. Krishna and Guru Nanak. This thing speaking here has not been at Hawkins Scale 1000, but it knows someone who did, and it's pretty flabbergasting. You can actually perceive, you can see that everyone else is dreaming and playing their games like little children in a sandbox. You can see beyond time and space. You can perceive things like karma. And you can see that there is no God. But there is an all and everything. An absoluteness, something, some consciousness, which is everything all encompassing. And impersonal. It's not a being. It's just isness. Everything is happening all at once. And it is also clear that nothing is more important than anything else. There are no values. Values is something we assign in our illusions. Also, someone who is granted the opportunity to experience Hawkins Scale 1000 is not more valuable than anyone else. It's just that this person can perceive more because he or she has had the courage to fully surrender. You have to wrest away your consciousness and your awareness from the screen so that you can see the projector room. And that outside of the cinema of our lives, there is nothing. And also everything. The two main reasons why people don't stay there usually is, firstly, as I said, energetically it's hard to maintain, it's a bit dangerous. And secondly, it's lonely as hell up there. And everyone who wrote about it, who told me about it, says it's not enjoyable, it's not something you could wish to experience or to be at for a longer time. The magical hoo-ha most gurus talk about is within the 500s of the Hawkins scale. Beyond 600, all hoo-ha is going away and it gets more and more sober and neutral. Until at the end you only see the substance of which everything is made of, which is consciousness itself. One good advice I got is that it's worth it to clean up your lower chakra, especially your first chakra. The other one is to give up values, to give up judging things and people, to assign any attributes to them. And the third one is, of course, to surrender to your destiny, or to the destiny of humanity. If you didn't find your favorite gurus on the 2 lists, don't be sad. 1000 is very rare, and also it's not super useful. It's not that anyone has to have been there. You just got the glimpse of the most undiluted reality and truth. Most gurus are within the 500s or 600s, or even in the 400s. It's very rare that anyone gets above 700. This is one very big threshold. 700, the next is around 800, 850. And above that, 900,000 almost no one gets. There is a couple in Australia, I think, who is trying to sell courses to get to 1000. They're not at 1000, they've never been at 1000, and they cannot offer courses to get to 1000. This whole calibration thing of the Hawkins Scale is a huge ego trap. It can be useful, but it's much more likely that people fall into an ego trap, say, I can calibrate. And of course, the ego then tells them, well, you're at 800 or 900 or 1000. It's only an ego trip. If you have learned this, I would strongly recommend not to calibrate yourself, because you cannot be impartial. And if you're not impartial, the calibration doesn't work. Also, David Hawkins developed this technique over many years and over tens of thousands of calibrations, not within a few weeks or months. So this is not a system of evaluation, of judging. That's exactly not what it is. If you use it by mistake for that, then it's all for naught. But I find it very useful to find out who is actually talking from experience, or how valuable is a book. Sometimes people ask me, how valuable is this book? How good is the information in this book? And then it's possible to calibrate the book and the author. There will be another video soon about books which calibrate around 800. I've not found a book that calibrates above 850. And also it's possible that books that calibrate around 800 are only starting to be useful once you yourself calibrate at 600 plus. Below 600, we still like to play a lot. We like to enjoy this playground and play around with matter and energy. Beyond 600, you're usually not interested in playing around anymore and can accept the truth no matter what it is. Nevertheless, most gurus who reach the 600s will stay there or even go back to the 500s because it's much more comfortable. It's very, very difficult to give that up, to surrender even that, and to go beyond 700. David Hawkins had another interesting piece of advice. If you're noticing that you're going towards the next threshold, or that the next step is starting, like 700 plus or 800 plus, get your affairs in order, as long as you still can. Because worldly faculties like memory might go away. Or you might not care anymore about people or money or your house or whatever. So get your affairs in order if you have the impression it's going to the higher calibrations. Also, there is the slight possibility that you might actually physically die. as has been described by many. C.G. Jung, Chet McKenna, U.G., several. Sri Aurobindo, this whole Savitri thing. The struggle with physical death will be an issue. But even if not, if you lose all sense of personality, that might actually be difficult to interact still with anyone. And most probably no one will understand whatever the heck you're saying. Least of all your family probably will just think you got, I don't know, crazy or depressed or something. And as we know from the highest stages of samadhi, which have been described, and also from the experience of the mother, for example, is that you can fall into some kind of deep sleep. I mean, your body falls into a deep sleep. Your gross body, not your subtle body, not your mental body, but your gross body can fall into some kind of sleep or coma. So it's good to have someone around who doesn't get scared by that and who can still care for the body and try to wake you up if it gets scary somehow. In the worst case scenario, you just get buried because you're taken for dead. So it's a good thing to organize this kind of shit and have some good friends around. This video is already much too long. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me as a Patreon. Thank you to all my patrons, and see you soon. Give the video a thumbs up. If you liked it, it helps others find the channel.